Flicks on Tap.
Welcome.
So, we are cracking into our beers right at the bat today, and we have Laguna Beer, 1000 Steps IPA, West Coast style, and I love the can art on this one. It's of 1000 Steps Beach in Laguna Beach, California, where I lived for quite some time. This is a 7% alcohol beer being served out of a pint glass. And I'm just jumping into the beer tonight because we have rich conversation to get into in a sec about our movie. We're going to be talking about Django Unchained, the Quentin Tarantino movie from 2012. One of my favorites. I've watched it time and time again. It will never get boring to me. How about you? What are your experiences with it?
Really good. Really good. I feel like this is a generic answer. I liked it a lot, man. That was my second time seeing the movie.
Oh, wow.
How many times have you seen it?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
No, that's okay.
It's a good movie, dude.
Man, I'll tell you what, though, man. It keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I'm glad you said that because I'll get into some conversation about some of the critiques I've read online about it. But anyways,
that'd be interesting.
Before we dive into that movie, let's talk about this beer. Just poured it.
Yeah.
Nice, translucent yellow color. Got a nice bit of head at the top. Evan did a hard pour apparently because he's got a big couple fingers ahead. Way more than necessary. I don't know, just too hard.
I still, even after 20 episodes, I still don't know how to pour beer properly, man.
That's all good. Let's cheers to this one and test it out.
It's always an anticlimactic cheers because of the we're not capturing the clicking sound, dude. So the first thing that popped out to me was nothing. The first thing that popped out to me was the what do you call it? The coordinates.
Oh yeah, yep.
That's cool.
Yeah,
there's coordinates on the can.
The longitude and latitude, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I think so. It sounds good to me.
Yeah, it is of 1000 Steps Beach, as I said before. It's an iconic location in Southern California, where which you should definitely check out if you haven't. It's awesome. And right here on the can, it says tastes like vibrant hoppy waves of flavor from Citra and Mosaic hops. And I've had a sip already. Evan's yet to try it, but it's good. It is definitely vibrant.
Come down a little bit.
Very hoppy. The Citra sweetness is there, so you're getting a little bit of citrus. And then the hoppiness is coming from those Mosaic hops, as you would expect. So it's a good beer. It's nice and hoppy, but it has a little tinge of sweetness that you would expect from a West Coast style. So if that's what you're into, this one would be a good one to try.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, it doesn't really, it doesn't tie into our movie very organically other than...
Not at all.
So, but what I will say is the visuals on this beer, there's lots of nice colors. Django Unchained.
Yeah.
Very stunning.
Django Unchained has a lot of play with colors as well.
Yeah.
So. When you mention the colors, first thing that comes to my mind is that scene where Django and Dr. King Schultz kill one of the Brittle brothers right at the beginning, and the blood splits onto the splats. I said that weird. Splats right onto the cotton.
It's a new word.
And that is just an iconic visual from that movie that I think speaks volumes to the whole theme of what the movie's trying to talk about.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people said that the theme of the movie, which if you don't know is slavery. Django is a slave who gets freed, becomes a bounty hunter, goes after some of the slaves, tries to free his wife from a plantation as well. But a lot of the people had complaints about the movie, saying it was a sensitive subject, that it made light of a sensitive subject, which it did. But what you got to consider about the movie is that even though it was making light of a sensitive subject in certain ways, I think the way it handled the slave masters and the bad people, they got what they deserved. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they definitely had it handed to them.
Yeah.
And whereas there was some really violent, brutal stuff happening to the slaves, I feel like they were never really treated lightly. You know what I mean? So I think it handled the material as well as it could have.
Do people, I'm sure people do, when I ask this question, but have you read any commentary on the fact that Quentin Tarantino is a white man directing this movie?
Yeah, so that's, like you said, there's so much discourse surrounding that.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, I think other people wouldn't have made it the way he made it, and it's a great movie. Samuel L. Jackson defends it. Yeah. Jamie Foxx, who plays Django, defends it. If they loved his script and they loved the role, what is there to say about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but I think they're, like, you made a good point. You have that defense, and you also have repeating what you said, because it's worth repeating, is the bad guys there is a bit of, I mean, it appears to be justice in a sense.
Yeah, and it's just done in
bad guys getting murdered.
It's done in the classic Quentin Tarantino fashion, where he literally blows up the entire plantation at the end. Like, no one survives that. No. Even what's his name? Steven, Samuel Jackson's fantastic character, who you definitely hate by the end of the movie. Even he gets blown up in there, and he's the house slave, as he was referred to. So there was not one person on that plantation who worked for that family that he found innocent, except for actual slaves. Like, right before he killed DiCaprio's character's sister, he told the two slaves to leave the house, remember? And they took off running, the two female slaves. So he spared the slaves. He blew up everyone who was in some kind of wrong, because, I mean, Steven sold him out and was going to get him and Broomhilda, his wife, killed. So he was not a good character, even though he was a slave as well.
Yeah. There were moments where I was wondering, like, why did Django do that? Like, for example, the scene with the guy who gets ripped up by the dog. But it makes, I mean, it's just a moment to question, like, what's going on. But no matter what, you know that you believe he's got this moral compass that's in the right direction, and he's got a mission he's trying to accomplish. But you know what I'm talking about?
No, yeah, exactly. That was a brutal scene, actually.
Crazy, man.
When there was test audiences, when the movie was first being filmed, Tarantino actually dulled that scene down from what it was initially.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, and that's how brutal that was. And that's Tarantino. Like, he thrives on making these big, controversial scenes that people walk out of. Yeah. One of his first movies, Reservoir Dogs, when it was airing on the film festival circuit, people would walk out because there's a scene where I'm not going to spoil it for you because I know you haven't seen it yet, but there's just an infamous scene. It's a torture scene, and thousands of people walked out, and he doesn't even show the torture. He just insinuates it. And so he's just one.
Okay.
He's just one for making these controversial, violent scenes. And then when Pulp Fiction won the Palme d'Or at Cannes, somebody was complaining, some film critic or someone was like really upset about it, and Tarantino was all happy when he accepted his award. He was like, I don't make movies that bring people together, I make movies that split people apart, just because of how controversial they are.
Yeah.
So he thrives on that too. Like, going back to the other question you had about a white man making a movie about this subject matter, he doesn't care what you think about him. He's going to do what he wants, and that's why we get some of the best movies from him, because he doesn't sell out at all. He does what he wants.
Yeah, which I think it can be considered, I think, rare. The more and more we move forward in pop culture and things like that, you don't see that too often.
No, yeah, that's for sure.
So that is cool. Yeah, it's commendable. But I can see why other people would be heated, but hopefully.
So what was
good discourse comes from it.
What was your initial interaction with this film?
Like, when I first watched it in theaters,
So you watched it in theaters as well?
I watched it in theaters. Awesome. Yeah, man. Well, that was my first Tarantino movie in theaters too. Oh, so, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Yeah, I mean, it was, man, like, I was fascinated by, like you said, like the justice part where he was killing everybody. I was like, man, they're getting what they deserve. But I was also just fascinated by the fact that there's so much freaking action in the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's such a entertaining movie. Like you said, it never slows down. Some people argue that it does, but there's just this thing about that movie being so exciting, and I think that's an awesome introduction to Tarantino for somebody who hasn't seen him. Like, being the first movie of his I saw on the big screen, it was just so like overwhelming. Like, whoa, look at what is happening on the screen right now. It was just so awesome. Because then the next movie of his that came out I watched in theaters as well, and I watched it on the special 70mm release that was on. It was called The Roadshow, and it had an intermission and everything. But there was The Hateful Eight, and that one's a lot slower. So that one was, even though the experience was cool, it wasn't as exciting as Django. Django's just such a fun ride.
I remember watching The Hateful Eight, and I think I fell asleep during it.
Yeah, I could see that. And it kind of, a lot of people will say it's kind of like a play, and he kind of wasted resources shooting 70mm in an enclosed space, because it's usually used for these sprawling spaces, like a lot of what we see in Django, which is another thing I really like about the movie. Django is one of his most easy to look at movies. Like, his cinematography is really nice in that movie. Like, I was talking about the cotton getting the blood splattered on it, or just like the open fields. It's classic Western, and that was what he was going for. Like, he was definitely trying to make his own spaghetti Western, and it looks like that. It looks like Once Upon a Time in the West. It just has that feel, and then the violence too comes from that genre, the Italian gory spaghetti Western. So it's a perfect mock-up of a spaghetti Western. Like, he made his dream version of a movie he would have wanted to see as a kid, I think.
Wow.
That's why it's such a blast.
Was it a book first? No.
So Django,
he never writes book first.
he did that once with Jackie Brown. It's based off Rum Punch by Elmore Leonard. That's a great movie too. But no, Django he wrote, but it's based off of a character from an Italian Western from 1966 called just Django. So this one that we're talking about is Django Unchained. Oh, yeah. Django is it's just this character who he ended up making a million spin-offs, like, not Tarantino, but all kinds of people all over Italy and even America later started copying this Django character. And so there's hundreds of Django movies.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. My favorite one is the one from 1966. It's super good. It's about this guy who like carries around a coffin with him. And when he finally opens the coffin, it's a Gatling gun in it. And he just like lights up a whole town. Wow. It's just super violent movie.
But is it also... So they're not all related to slavery. But do they all have some themes that are common?
So the KKK, which is in Django, was like the main villain in that first one. But they wear, since it's an Italian movie, it's not like accurate. They wear these red bandanas on their faces. They're just like assumed to be KKK or something. I forget exactly how that story came about. But Quentin Tarantino actually has a character in there. She's played by Zoe Bell. You only see her momentarily in Django Unchained, but she wears a red bandana on her face. And that's directly pulled from the 1966 Django.
That's cool. And you also have... Was that the other Django that made the cameo in the...
So that's Franco Nero, who played Django in 1966 from Italy. And he was playing a slave owner in Django Unchained. But it's kind of funny because he was on the opposite end fighting the racists in the original Django. Now he is one of the racists. So it's cool to give him like that opposite role.
Yeah, that is interesting. Where was this movie set?
The South. Because there's just things where Quentin Tarantino's been interviewed about his first Western, because everyone knows Westerns are his favorite. But he says it's not a Western movie, it's a Southern movie. Yeah. I think Candyland, they say, was in Mississippi. I forget. There's a scene where Mississippi comes across the screen. It's either Mississippi or Missouri. I can't remember. Yeah.
Well, I could see how those two would be kind of the go-to for that. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's interesting. Good. I was looking forward to your facts, man. Shamefully, I don't have any knowledge of the music because I didn't really prepare for.
There's that one song I showed you that one time, the Tupac and James Brown edit. Cool, dude. That's a cool one. That's what in the end scene.
Take it away.
The end scene where he's getting blown away, or where he's blowing everyone away, and that Tupac and James Brown like mashup comes on. Yeah. Super cool.
That is cool.
If you haven't heard it, look it up. I can't remember what it's called, but just type in like Tupac, James Brown, Django Unchained. It's super cool.
What a genius combination.
I don't know who did the music though.
Yeah, that'd be something.
I think there's a Rick Ross song in there somewhere, which is random.
No, I remember that. It was on their journey at some point on the horses. But yeah, man, definitely. We'll circle back when we talk, because we're talking more about Tarantino's films. So
everything comes up. It's gonna all tie back around. We've already brought up Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, Jackie Brown a little.
I gotta watch. I mean, the question is, what's the next Tarantino movie gonna be? You know what I mean?
Ooh, so I think I texted you a couple days ago on my birthday. Kill Bill hits Netflix.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be a good one to watch, because I know you haven't seen that either. Yeah. That's a good classic Tarantino movie.
Volume 1, Volume 2, baby, let's do it.
Yep. And that was supposed to be one movie, so he counts it as one.
That's cool.
But it's so long.
But both of them are gonna be on Netflix.
Oh, I don't know. Both. I hope so. They better be,
right? If it's
I can't imagine. But they're good. I like those, because there's elements of a Western in it, but he didn't quite get to making his Western yet with it. It was more of like a Japanese kung fu movie type thing. Shaw Brothers style movie is what he refers to it as, which they used to make a bunch of kung fu movies back in the day. Oh, and cool. Then there's that scene, but I forget exactly. I haven't watched it in quite a while. But throughout Kill Bill, Uma Thurman is wearing the yellow jumpsuit from the Game of Death, I believe. It's called the Bruce Lee movie. Yeah. I might have butchered the name.
She has Bruce Lee. Does he wear that in UFC?
In the video game, yeah. That's cool. That's one of his skins in the UFC video game.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love playing with the Bruce Lee character.
Yeah. Jackie Chan. I want to bring up Jackie Chan, man.
I don't know much about Jackie Chan. That's good. Let's see what you know.
Well, I don't really know much other than like when I think of Jackie Chan, it's easy for me to put him in this box of like family movies or whatever, or movies that are kind of like everyone can watch. Yeah. But I'm sure I have this feeling that he is so much more than that, and I've never really expanded.
I think
my experience with him is more like the suit, like the movie about the suit,
Tuxedo.
Yeah, Tuxedo. It's so, but I'm like that, or Rush Hour. But
Rush
I'm like,
Hour.
dude,
That's not him. I don't
so
think that's
much
him.
more than that.
I think people, specifically people like Tarantino or film buffs, they'll know him from other stuff. I personally do not. I've never actually. I can't say much about him. My exposure to him was, you remember that cartoon? Did you see that cartoon he used to do? It was on Saturday morning cartoons when I was a kid. It was a Jackie Chan animated cartoon. It was just a kids show.
I never watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I loved that thing. I don't remember what it was called or anything, but it was so good. It was super
cool.
entertaining.
Did he ever interact with Bruce Lee? Was he?
I want to say that Bruce Lee was someone important to him. I don't know if directly or just like as a inspiration. I'm not sure.
Because
That's a good question.
Like in his 60s, so he
might be older than that now even.
maybe, yeah.
He's an older guy. Did you ever like Bruce Lee much? You ever seen much of any of those movies?
I can't say I've seen any of his movies.
Oh, dude, Enter the Dragon's like one of my favorite movies ever. Such a blast. Then there's like Game of Death with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in there. He fights Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Dude.
No way,
yeah,
dude.
So classic. And then
that's where he wears that yellow
suit. Yeah. And then there's a movie where I can't remember. See, his movies kind of blend into me because I just watched them all at once when I was a kid, like marathon them with my dad. But there's that one movie where he fights Chuck Norris. That might be Enter the Dragon.
Oh man,
that's a good fight.
That's referred to a little bit in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right?
I don't think it's that exact fight. So and that's such a controversial topic.
Life on the set or whatever.
Yeah, it's just more about him picking fights with stuntmen. Like I guess that was a thing he used to do. He used to hurt stuntmen like for fun. He would just like
that's hilarious.
He would just like what do you call it? Like instigate fights with them and then just like beat them up, or like he wouldn't go easy on takes and just like hurt them. That was just like something he was known to do.
That's crazy, man. What about Jet Li? Is that?
Oh, I forget if he's the main guy in this movie. I think this movie called Hero. I want to say it's Jet Li. I'll look it up after. Tarantino produced it to be released in America, so it released wherever it released first, China, I believe, or Japan, something like that. I don't know, but so the movie comes out in Asia. And it's so stunning that Tarantino loves it. He produces it, helps release it in America. Awesome. And then I think that Django, some of the color play he does in Django is taken from that movie because that movie, whenever it's told from a different perspective, the entire color of the scenes change. So there's scenes where every character is wearing red and the leaves are all red. The sky is red. And then it'll go to another perspective and everything's blue. The outfits, the leaves on the tree, cool. And it's a beautifully shot movie, and it's awesome.
Dang, man. Well, I bring up Jet Li again. Like that's cool what you said, but I was gonna say too. I
gotta see if that's the movie. If that's him.
Yeah, check it out. I feel like these guys are known for. Am I right in that they're known for, being mixed martial artists prior to acting?
Yeah, I think so, dude.
I don't assume that. I just feel
I'm pretty sure. Like so. Bruce Lee has his own style of fighting that he like made famous. He's like people call him like the first mixed martial artist because he had so many different techniques.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard that.
That he took from so many different disciplines of fighting. So yeah, that movie I was telling you about is Jet Li. It's just such a fun movie, and it was awesome. A Chinese movie initially. But it's just a stunning movie to look at. Like I don't remember what the movie's about or anything, but the visuals from it just left a huge impact on my head.
Have you seen Expendables?
The Stallone, Jason Statham. Is Arnold in the first one? I don't think so. Yes, Jet Li's in it.
Arnold makes. I don't know if it's the.
I think it comes in the second one.
Maybe yeah. It's a pretty short scene.
Yeah, it's disappointing. But those movies. My dad is obsessed with those movies because it's just all those action guys from the '80s that he loves.
That's the market they were going for, dude. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love it though. But I mean, it's
Stallone's still jacked.
Yeah.
Dude's huge for, what is he, like 75 years old?
Yeah, man. He's definitely in the 70s. I don't know how old exactly, but man, his documentary.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me. We got to check that out for this.
Yeah, I didn't see all of it, but I saw most of it. And man,
I saw the first like 20 minutes of it.
Did you know he's an artist? Like he paints?
Oh, no.
He's so good.
I must have missed that if it was early on. No, that's cool. I didn't know that.
Guy. Like he's just... I don't know.
I mean, he wrote Rocky, and that's one of my favorite movies too.
Yeah,
like, you got to have some kind of creative, creative knowledge in your head to be able to come up with such a classic movie.
Yeah, he paved the way for himself, man. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But it's cool. I wonder how many like people connect with like whether it's their uncles, dads, whoever, but like, or I'm not trying to like put a gender in a box. Like everybody, like generations connecting on this guy or these characters who are still making stuff.
Yeah, like even Arnold. Like my dad's always talked about Arnold to me, so that's why like he's such a, to this day I like follow Arnold on social media.
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Yeah, so no, it's crazy. You're right. That's a good thing to bring up. I never thought about that. That's interesting.
And so which is weird, man. Think about that connection. But anyways, man, I just love this still doing stuff, bro.
Yeah, it's fun. Even if some of the stuff is not so great. Like, did you see the last Rambo movie where he goes to Mexico or whatever to fight the cartel? It's bad.
That was not good.
I didn't like it at all. I was so disappointed.
Is it less gory? What's up?
It's just like, it just feels like he put it out to put something out. Not because he wanted to make another good movie. But he was saying recently that he wants to pass the mantle of Rambo onto someone. I forget who. Did you see that story by any chance?
Oh, that's cool, though.
Got to figure that out.
Sick.
He wants someone to be the next Rambo. I can't remember who it is now. That's dumb of me.
Like I declare you the next Rambo. Wow. He
anyways,
did that with for Creed. He did that kind of with.
With Michael B. Jordan. That's true. That's a good point. He passed on that whole franchise. Now there's a bunch of those movies.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try to figure out
who's the next Terminator going to be. I know that's not Arnold, or that's Arnold, but I'm just.
There was the, what do you call it? The
I don't know, man.
That one movie with it was Christian Bale, right? He was playing a different character, not Terminator. He's playing I forget the name. Sarah Connor's son, John Connor. Does that sound right?
Yeah, but Christian Bale wasn't in that. Was it?
He was in like this weird spin-off about that. A few years ago, Terminator Judgment Day or something that Arnold wasn't even in.
Oh well, with Christian Bale though. No,
yes, dude.
I saw that movie.
Wait, hang on. I gotta find this out. Talking about. Oh, and also, Stallone says he's too ugly to play Ken, but Ryan Gosling should be the next Rambo. How weird is that? That's like a weird thought. That's not who I would have. I was like, I read the headline like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I could not remember the name, and that wasn't what I was thinking at all for whatever reason.
It's hard. Well, it's hard to remove Ryan Gosling from the characters he's done.
That's true.
Especially when you just come off the Ken high. It's like, how do you go to that? But Ryan Gosling's done some good action movies. He has some movies in which he's killed some people and done it really well. Christian Bale as John Connor in Terminator Salvation. Was he the bad guy in that movie? No, he was John Connor, Sarah Connor's son. Really? Sarah Connor is like the main lady in the first one. Christian Bale John Connor is the child in Terminator 2, which is arguably like the best sequel ever. And then Christian Bale, I think this movie is really bad. I never watched it, but Christian Bale played John Connor, older. Could have sworn I seen that movie in Terminator Salvation. I guess I didn't see it. Yeah. That's Judgment Day was the one I saw in theaters that came out a few years ago when Arnold was already 70 playing Terminator still. That was weird. Did you see that one? No. He's like in a hospital holding a teddy bear and he has his shotgun. And he's just like, he's gray haired. I haven't seen it. He doesn't look like the Terminator anymore because he's so old. Oh, that's rough. Like, why did the Terminator age? It's a robot. Yeah, that is kind of a flaw. That is a flaw. Unless there was a part of the storyline in which he becomes human? No. If there was, I didn't catch it. Yeah. But I will say they made a smart move putting Christian Bale in it because no matter what, people are going to be like, oh, Christian Bale? Yeah. Like, no, he's awesome. Everything he does is fun. Yeah. I love him in that in Christopher Nolan's movie. It's about the two we talked about. We always bring it up, and I can never remember because I've never seen it. Because it's so easy to mix up the name of that movie with so many other movies. It's got one of those names that's generic. Yeah, I mean it's like, which stinks because it's not a generic movie. It's a really Christopher Nolan's movie, a good director, so I'm sure. Let's do our classic. Tying it back to Django, let's do our classic. Guess how many Oscar nominations and what it won. Yeah, good tie back, man. Let's see. I'm gonna go 7. I like this segment we got going. I'm gonna go no, not 7. No, I'm gonna go 3 Oscars. Say it 1-3 is your guess. No. I'm gonna go 3 Oscar nominations and 2 wins. Okay, so you're right on the wins. It had 2. Oh. And it had 5 nominations, which is more than you guessed. Can I guess what they were? What the so guess the nominations first. Let's see. But there's 5 of them. 5 total nominations. Well, that's like every category. I feel like that's true. There's a lot of categories. Okay, yeah. Guess the winners. Okay, and then I'll tell you all the nominations. Okay, so I'm gonna say cinematography, and then I'm gonna say screenplay. So you're saying cinematography for the for the what do you call it when again it's the visual part?
Yeah, cinematography. So you're saying cinematography for a win?
For a win.
And
I'm gonna say
screenplay?
screenplay for a win.
Okay, so you got one right. Screenplay. Best writing, original screenplay by Quentin Tarantino. And then the second winner, which well-deserved, best performance by an actor in a supporting role for Christoph Waltz as King Schultz.
Oh, that, yeah.
Makes a lot of sense,
And
right?
that was not his breakout role, though. His
No,
breakout
that was
role
Bastards.
In
Inglourious Bastards. Yeah.
Which is a weird juxtaposition because he's playing a bad guy in that movie.
And he's playing the best guy in the second one.
Right. And you have
In a way.
But you have the same underlining charisma the whole
Oh, yeah. That's what's
time.
insane about that. How people always talk about this, how he made that Nazi character so darn likable. It's horrible.
Yeah.
How is he so talented to make Hans Lada, the Nazi, what is it, a colonel? I forget the exact role in the army he had, but he made him likable. He was charming. He was smart. He spoke like 5 languages. There's that scene where they're trying to infiltrate that dance party or whatever it is. I forget exactly what it is. The movie premiere. That's what it was. They're trying to infiltrate it, and they're like, "We speak Italian," because they don't think any Nazi's going to speak Italian. Then he starts talking to them in perfect Italian.
Which is this it speaks to this guy's talent because he actually knows like 5 languages.
He does, yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. But he's such a talented
He
guy.
did a good job in Tarzan too.
I didn't see that.
One?
No, I didn't even.
It's good. I mean,
What did he play in there?
He played the kind of intrusive, like. You know what I'm talking about? It's in the OG Tarzan. There's like this intrusive guy who
Was it a human or an animal?
who is a human in the movie.
Okay. I think I kind of
he's
can
basically
guess where
trying
you're
to
going.
like I think he's trying
It's like
to
a poacher.
He's a poacher.
Okay. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, I get you.
There you go.
I could see him in that role. That's
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know what else he does in that movie, but yeah.
Going back to that, the Nazi he played though. So that's an evil person. No questions asked. Nazis are the worst people ever.
Yeah.
But like I said, he had that charm, right? And so Tarantino was talking about how out of all his characters, the villain that he hates the most out of anything, like even more than that Nazi, was Calvin Candy.
In Django. Yeah.
He said that is the most evil
Yeah.
character he has ever written. He said he hates and despises Candy with every ounce of his heart, but he said he doesn't feel that way about Christoph Waltz's Bastards character, which is saying something. But I mean, like I said, the guy was charming, likable, spoke all those languages. Yeah, he did the worst crimes ever, but he wasn't as hateable as the slave owner from Candyland.
Wow.
That's saying something. And then that just goes into my next point that I want to talk about.
Yeah. Hit us, dude.
How did DiCaprio not win an Oscar for that role?
Right. Was he nominated though?
I don't know even actually. No, wait, let me check what the other nominations were. I never even got back to that. Let's check the
Sweet
thing
Meals.
So the other nomination was Best Motion Picture of the Year, Best Achievement in Cinematography, and Best Achievement in Sound Editing. He wasn't even nominated. You're right. Wow.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I remember that being a big thing. Our buddy Fernando just brought something up. We were talking before the show. You might know about this. I don't know about this, but like the controversy of him not wanting to say the N word. Like obviously, who would want to say that? But like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Do you know the background
because he
about
says it a lot.
You know the background of that with Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh no,
So he wouldn't say it,
Yeah.
and curse warning. Samuel L. Jackson told him like, just motherfucking say it.
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Say it. I'm telling you, you can say it. It's in the script. It's a character. It's not you.
Yeah.
So he finally said it.
Well, having that kind of guidance is like I get that. Wow. Okay.
And then, of course, it's just laid with expletives, giving that it's Samuel L. Jackson giving you the advice. So you have to take it.
I'm glad you said it because you're keeping it as authentic as it was.
You have to take it from him when he says that to you.
Yeah, no, for sure. And he's very versed in Tarantino scripts. Not that changes the impact of what he said. I'm just saying, like, you know.
Well, he's one of his biggest defenders. Look at your poor brother.
Wow.
He's one of the biggest. You got me so off track. He's one of the biggest defenders of Quentin Tarantino's scripts using that word. So, but anyways,
that's cool. I wonder if Tarantino like sought. And this is crazy. worst porter in the history. Imagine. Wait, real quick.
Mine's not great either, though.
But imagine you come to a brewery. You order it, I'm the guy serving you. I'm like, yeah, I got you, bro. And all you get is a cloud in your cup.
Bro.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. This is so funny. If you're not watching the video, please check us out on our YouTube. The link is available at Flicks on Tap bio.
Watch my bad port.
This is funny.
But I wonder what kind of consultation Tarantino sought out for this film. You know what I mean? Like,
it's a good point. It's a good point.
You know?
Because, like, just going about writing a script like this, I would feel so uncomfortable putting that down onto paper that many times.
Yeah. Because you can have an idea of something, and you can read so many books, but I mean, I don't know. You're picking up what I'm putting down.
100%, and I think most people would automatically. Yeah. So, as we keep talking about Django, because the conversation's getting good there, let's introduce our second beer, which is Big Weekend from Coronado Brewing Company.
Yeah.
This one, as we've said before, is coming out of San Diego, I believe, and it is a double IPA today.
Oh, it's Coronado, man.
Coronado.
Right?
Duh, obviously.
No, it's okay.
But 8.8%. Isn't Coronado just San Diego, though?
Well, when I lived there, people called Coronado. I mean, I don't know. Maybe
I think being from outside of San Diego, you call it San Diego.
Nah, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
I didn't mean to say it as in, like, you're wrong. I just...
No, I get what you're saying. But I just was curious because I always just called Coronado San Diego.
That's fair.
Just... I was just from outside San Diego.
It's pretty much right there.
So anyways, double IPA, 8.8%. Once again, coming out of a pint can. Some more subdued art. It's just got some waves, some palm trees, some surfers. One guy's throwing up the shaka, and then we have their classic logo on there. Description says juicy tropical. Anything you want to read out of that blurb?
Yeah, man. Oh, I love me a good blurb. I also find it interesting they went with the skinny blurb. Like it's
tough on the eyes.
Very hard to see, but let's go. Says stay coastal. I'll just be part of it. Expertly balanced and perfectly hoppy. Big Weekend is ready to kick things up a notch. It's got a lot of good stuff, man. It's just really, in summation, it's basically saying, enjoy your weekend, man. Chill, relax. Big Weekend, hence the name. Cool colors. I like the blue. It's simple, but it's a nice. If you like the color blue, you have like
a couple shades out there to enjoy.
Couple shades. You're in for a treat. If you like blue, you're good, dude.
For sure.
Get yourself a Big Weekend.
So the color on the pour, less translucent than the last one. It's a nice orangey yellow. The head on this one, as we said, was kind of thick at the outset. As it's dissipating a bit, we have an uneven head, I guess you would call it. I forget. When I was we've talked about this on the podcast a long time ago. Some of the bubbles are big, some of them are small. That just tells you there's no additives to make it carbonated. So it means this beer is just like natural, fermented.
I like that.
Good normal brewing and hopping process. And as my head dissipates, I'm getting some of that classic lacing that we always talk about.
Our last one was similar, right? In terms of the uneven head?
Yeah. This one's just like wildly visible. It's usually not this visible. Like, check that out. Look at yours over here on this side.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got huge lacing, bubbles. Huh? Yeah, for real.
I don't get why mine's still that crazy, but when you do it on two different beers, you can tell you did something wrong. Can't blame it on the beer.
No, but even mine was a little bit different this time. So This one was something was up. Let's cheers this one.
Cheers, man. Like, we just do it closer to the mic. No, it doesn't.
Pathetic.
No at all.
It's got to be a little emptier. We established.
Is this plastic? Like, it sounds plastic when we do our cheers, man.
It's not that it's plastic. I think it's like reinforced maybe so that it doesn't break as easy because it's super thin. When we introduced the Spiegelhaus, remember we talked about the thinness being part of the flavor enhancement.
Oh, actually, no.
Yeah, so the thinness of the glass is crucial to like the temperature as well as the flavor and some certain things. So it has to be super thin. So I think maybe there is some kind of like reinforcement or something in there. But no, it's glass.
Don't you just want to jump right in? I just want to be like, wee.
That just tells you it's refreshing.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about. It's refreshing.
It is. You're talking beach vibes, so it does look...
Both of the cans.
Yeah, you have a beach theme tonight.
That was an accident. I mean, it wasn't an accident. I had the beers together when I paired them, but when I paired them, it was before we like officially introduced this whole movie talk situation. So I didn't realize we were going to be talking about such a deep movie.
In San Diego. on the West Coast.
Oh my God,
Man, no.
California has a horrible history of during this time frame as well. Actually,
No. I hear you, man. Yeah, no, I hear you.
California, as a state government, used to actually pay bounties for the heads of Native Americans during this gold rush. So yeah, heavy stuff during this time frame in American history, and racial politics during that time was just not okay. Anyways, let's move on. That's not a good subject to bring up.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, no, but we'll move on. But I'll name the fact that what you're saying is important to address. So I'm glad you brought it. I'm glad you brought it up for that reason.
And if you want to learn more about that, American Genocide by Benjamin Madley is a great book that I've read about it, the California situation. Anyways, speaking about pure evil, back to Calvin Candy. That performance should have won DiCaprio his Oscar before he won his Oscar.
Yeah, and I'm curious if that character was inspired by... Well, I mean, it's probably easy to pull from so many terrible people who actually existed in history, but I wonder, have you heard of any actual historical slave owner that inspired that character?
I haven't heard of anyone in particular. I'm sure he's like an amalgamation of many different historical figures, or maybe he's just... Tarantino tried to think of the most pure evil person to embody this role, because what is worse than owning human beings and subjecting them to what they were subjected to during this period of American history? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's either an amalgamation of a bunch of them, or he's Quentin Tarantino's imagination of what these people were actually like, because to be a slave owner and to treat people that way, you had to, you can't, there's no redeeming qualities there.
Yeah. I and what I appreciate in the movie is how Django, again played by the awesome Jamie Foxx, Django kind of like makes some moves that almost subliminally makes very big statements to Calvin Candy, like, hey, like, I'm outsmarting you right now. Like,
big time. And that's what I'm saying.
He knows it too. He's like, this guy's gonna do something.
Yeah, big time. And that ties back into that whole thing where I said that even though it's such a difficult subject to talk about, he is making the bad people look bad. He just is. Calvin Candy is a complete moron. Think about it. He's an idiot. Too, yeah. And there's some super small details that I read about a couple years ago. So that whole science, in quotes, in air quotes, science that Calvin Candy talks about when he has the skull, which there's a lot to dissect in this thing. That science was actually debunked like 10 years prior to when the movie takes place. So Calvin Candy's over here ranting about a disproven science. So that's like, that has to be intentional, like to make him just look like a moron. Yeah. And then just going back into that scene, once again, DiCaprio embodying the evil smashes the skull and his hand gets cut in real life. Yeah. He's bleeding out and he keeps the scene going. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Imagine just like bleeding that much. Like he had to go get stitches, I believe. Like he had to go to a hospital to get that taken care of, and he kept it going during the scene. Yeah,
separating the actor from the the movie itself. Yeah, you going back to Leonardo DiCaprio. That is very impressive, and it also says a lot about not Kerry Washington. Is it Kerry? No,
Kerry Washington. Yeah, the female.
Her ability to play along. Oh yeah, that would be very uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I heard that when he puts the blood on her face, I heard that's not his real blood. At that point, it was a cut, and then they went back and they put fake blood on his hand and stuff. Oh, so that although that's you keep it going, you see him bleeding. He did not actually put blood on someone, which was like concerning to me at first. I was like, that's disgusting. But I was researching for the podcast like a week or two ago.
Wait, so how does that work? I'm sorry. I thought
they cut it.
They keep it rolling.
They kept rolling, but right before he touches her face, I guess there was a cut. I don't remember. I read about this after we watched it. But I guess at some point they cut. Okay.
Everything
and
up
then,
until that point was authentic, and then they put fake blood.
Before he touched her, there was a cut at some point.
Okay. Yeah. I can see how that would work. That's a smart move.
Movie magic. Editing.
Yeah, except pretty sure there's a lot of people out there who think that was his real blood on her face.
Well, yeah, because you hear that story, but then you don't hear the second half of it where they cut.
Okay.
But no, that's quite the story.
Yeah.
And I'm in shock to this day that his first Oscar win was for The Revenant. Did you see that movie?
I never watched it. I just didn't feel inclined to.
Nothing really happens in it. I mean, it's good. I enjoy it. It's beautiful. It's a fantastically shot movie. I love looking at it.
They're just like, hey, man, you know the time.
But he just grunts in the movie. He's just like, because he got mauled by a bear like early on in it.
Yeah.
And he drags himself around a forest grunting. I don't think it was an award-winning performance. I think Django was. I think Killers of the Flower Moon is. And he has no chance of winning for Killers either, unfortunately. I forget what that exact category is, but... Oh, wait, no, I don't think he got the nomination. I can't remember. I don't think he got the nomination for Killers.
By the way, listeners, if you haven't, if you're not up to date on this, Oscars are coming up in March.
Coming up,
so
like
2
this
weekends?
week? This weekend or next?
It's this weekend, the 10th.
That's what
Sunday,
I thought.
This Sunday.
Yep. So we got to keep our eye on that. I'm sad we didn't get to go watch Zone of Interest. I wanted to see that before the Oscars. They're actually playing it downtown this weekend. I was going to, but you're gone, so we're going to miss it, unfortunately. Maybe when you get back, we can check it out. But that movie looks good. That's that one Nazi one I told you about. Yeah. Man, we are touching some grave subjects. Movies are important, though. They tell about this history in a easy to digest way.
Well, honestly, so for me, I'm like, there's two things that happen with movies. You either learn from them or you get inspired by them. And so if you get inspired, it makes you want to learn more.
That's true.
So even though I'm not going to sit here and be like, hey, I watched Django and learned a lot of history from it, it definitely makes me want to know like more about that time period, that specific, area, like you're saying.
And it just coincides for me with my day job where as a teacher, I'm teaching my kids about the Civil War right now.
Yeah, and you love teaching history, man. I appreciate that.
So it ties into reality.
Oh, you're teaching about the Civil War?
Right now.
Good.
Yeah,
cool.
That's where we're at. That's a hard subject, as we said. But let's check Killers of the Flower Moon's nominations, because I don't remember what Leo's exact thing was. But one thing about that movie is it's similar situation dealing with senseless murder of a minority in this country. So if that's just like something you feel inclined to learn about, I would definitely check it out. Killers of the Flower Moon. We've talked about it on the show many times now. Fantastic movie. Really deep subject matter.
Yeah.
Phenomenal performances. And really worth a shot. Really worth a shot to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm burping a lot right now.
Something's happening. You have an aneurysm over there, buddy.
All right. So let's see the Oscar nominees for Killers of the Flower Moon. So we got Best Achievement in Music for Robbie Robertson. We have Best Achievement in Music for an original song by Scott George, A Song for My People. We have Best Motion Picture of the Year, which I honestly hope it wins Best Motion Picture of the Year. Yeah. I already know it's going to be Oppenheimer, which is equally deserving, equally very close. Not quite equally. I haven't
seen it yet, so I'm sure.
We'll check it out because I like it. I would rewatch Oppenheimer. It's a great movie, but I just really have a soft spot for this movie. It touches on such an important part of American history. Okay, like I said, I read that book on the California genocide, and to me, I just think it's not something enough people know about.
I agree with you.
This being an Oscar-nominated movie with, I think it was 10 nominations, it's important. So everyone's got to check it out. Then we have
how many Oscar nominations?
I think 10. Let me double check.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, 10 Oscars.
That's pretty good.
So we got the music ones. We got the Best Picture
for Killers.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got directing for Scorsese, performance by an actress in a leading role for Lily Gladstone.
Yeah.
Best performance by an actor in a supporting role for De Niro. Best achievement in cinematography for Rodrigo Prieto, which he also did Silence, which is a Scorsese movie that I think is absolutely stunning and gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oscar for best achievement in film editing for Thelma Schoonmaker, who is Scorsese's longtime collaborator in that field. Then we have best achievement in production design and best achievement in costume design. Wow, yeah, nothing for Leo.
Wow.
Nothing for Leo, dude. And I think that was one of his good roles, one of his better roles. Better than Revenant.
Is that because he's playing like the bad guy or something? Like what's like?
I don't. The Academy just has this.
Behind that?
The Academy just has this weird penchant against like young guys. Like, Scorsese didn't win an Oscar till I believe The Departed in like 2006, and he'd been active making movies since like '68. I think was Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which was his first movie. So he's made fantastic movies, and he didn't win an Oscar for close to 40 years.
I know because Mark Ruffalo didn't get nominated until he was much older, huh?
I don't even know. I don't have a clue, honestly. Did he get nominated for Poor Things? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know.
Because Poor Things was fantastic.
Oh, I would love. Yeah, look at the nominations for Poor Things.
And I honestly, this is one of my biggest issues with the Oscars this year is going to be the lead actress Oscar because I think it should be Emma Stone and Lily Gladstone equally. I think they both did phenomenally amazing performances, like equally well.
Yeah,
I think Emma Stone should win it.
it's a tough one because you have two different dynamics, but yeah, it's definitely you're favoring Emma Stone.
I think her performance was just a little
Yeah.
bit better. A little bit better.
While you're looking it up, I watched in case you're interested, viewers and listeners, the SAG Awards is on.
Oh, you
Netflix.
watched them?
I watched that the other night while I was like doing some.
So that's the Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, well, I was doing some like grading and stuff, or just doing some work at home, and it was they nominated Barbara Streisand, and I want to shout out Barbara.
Wait, for
real
what?
quick. For Lifetime Achievement.
Oh, that's cool.
It was
That makes sense.
It was a really cool, and her speech was good, man. She was.
So Poor Things actually has 11 nominations. So one more than Killers, and I believe 2 or 3 less than Oppenheimer, something like that.
That's really good, though.
Yeah, Poor Things
I'm
was one of
happy
our
to hear
favorite
that.
movies this year, I think.
No, that and sorry, I was gonna say I wanted to shout out because we got to give flowers to our boy Zac Efron.
Oh, the Iron Claw with
Iron Claw.
0 nominations.
I forgot his name. I forgot the name. Yeah, that's crazy.
0 nominations.
That's like
Unfortunate.
it's so stupid, but whatever.
Anyways, back to Poor Things. The Oscars
Yeah.
nominations lining up. We're talking about this because we're coming up on Oscars, so it's worth a talk about.
3 days away.
So the Oscar nominations for Poor Things are makeup and hairstyling, which clearly that movie, if you've seen it,
Yeah.
you had to be a talented makeup artist and costumer.
I'm
And
gonna pause real quick just because I'm
Yeah.
curious if Mark Ruffalo got anything.
We'll
Keep
see.
going, keep going,
Let's
keep
go,
going.
dude. So we got Best Achievement in Music, written for motion pictures. Clearly, I love that score.
Yeah.
That score was just like bone chilling at times.
It was very you have very short. We talked about that on the last one.
Yeah. We'll shout out Jerskin Thendricks.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
for his score. Then we have Best Motion Picture of the Year, which is just Best Picture. Best Achievement in Directing for Yorgos Lanthimos. Best Performance by an Actress in a Leading Role for Emma Stone, which I think should win. Here we go. Your boy Mark Ruffalo got Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role.
Okay.
Then we got Best Adapted Screenplay for Tony McNamara, which I believe he did the last screenplay for Yorgos Lanthimos as well. I forget the name of that one. But anyways, and that was also with Emma Stone.
Okay.
But then we have Best Achievement in Cinematography for Robbie Ryan, which the cinematography in that movie just trips me out. So that one, it's groundbreaking. I think it deserves it. Groundbreaking cinematography. The use of the fisheye, unconventional,
Oh, yeah.
super.
Yeah. I always forget what you mean by that, but yeah, no, I get it.
And then we have Best Achievement in Film Editing for Yorgos Mavropsaridis. I hope I did not butcher that, but I did. Best Achievement in Production Design and Best Achievement in Costume Design. Those, if it doesn't win all those design awards, the Oscars suck.
I mean, they better at least get one.
Dude, but they got costume design, they got production
Yeah.
design, they got
Yeah.
the, what was it, makeup and hair. Like, it should win all of those,
Yeah.
I think. But no, good
No,
movies.
I agree, man. I mean, it's pretty outstanding in terms of the visuals.
It's just super unconventional, and that's cool. I like when a movie strays away from like that super commercially path.
Spice it up. They did not win anything at the SAGs, unfortunately.
Oh, really? Because I know that
I think
the
so.
other award shows they're kind of winning some stuff. Oh, and then there's our upset,
Actually, I
the
forgot.
Holdovers, that I hope is gonna win some stuff as well.
Holdovers took a lot at SAG, dude.
Oh, did it? That's good to know.
Yeah.
I like that Dominic Sessa dude,
Wait, maybe they did win at the SAG.
the young actor.
Yeah, he won at SAG.
Let's see.
Oh, wait, no.
I think he won something at SAG. I do think he won something.
I didn't watch the whole thing, man. Now that I think about it, I didn't finish it.
I think he won like Best Newcomer. He won Best Newcomer at a couple different things because
Okay.
that was his first role.
I forget how many. There's so many award shows.
There is. Yeah.
But SAG's a pretty prominent one, right?
People don't take it too seriously. It's the Screen Actors
Yeah, they
Guild.
were actually. You're right. They were pretty drunk, and Idris Elba was like messed up on the stage.
That's
He was
funny.
so turnt.
I'm trying to find the
He was hosting.
what do you call it? That one not the award, the Golden Globes. I want to see what they won because I think Emma Stone won Best Actress at the Golden Globes if I can remember correctly.
Oh, cool.
But anyways, there's some good stuff this year. We watched a lot of the nominees, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what actually ends up winning. At the Golden Globes, Best Performance by Female Actor was Emma Stone. Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy was Poor Things as well. Sorry, I don't know why my brain froze. And it was nominated for score, did not win. But anyways, yeah, no, good stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of good.
We were kind of so John Carl and I were pretty intentional about watching some of these movies leading up to the Oscars. But I mean, we would have watched them anyways. But it's fun to have the conversation around the movies that are nominated. So, man, to think about the fact that that's 3 days away, it's like the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah, and if anyone is curious on checking out Poor Things before the Oscars, I believe tonight, as of this recording, March 7th, Poor Things is now on Hulu.
We might need to get this episode up sooner so they can hear it.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna work on it. As soon as you get me the audio, it's going on to my
let's try to
YouTube.
get it up by tomorrow.
Heck yeah,
I'll get that tonight.
Yes, because I want people to check out this little. We had Django starting off, but we had some good Oscars talk in here. Which
yeah.
What else did we watch for the Oscars? Anatomy of a Fall, which we both hated.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Why did we hate that movie so much?
It was boring.
Every time I try to find someone who agrees with us, I can't do it.
Because
people like it.
Really?
People like the movie.
Like online?
Yeah, all over the place. People like it.
It's so crazy, man. But I guess there's some people who are maybe like script buffs and like they like the script. But to me,
that is what it is. They like the story, whereas like it's tackling the marriage story. But to me, it was a boring story about like bad people. They were both bad.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the wife and the husband, like the reason they're considering her as the murderer is because they obviously had a horrible relationship and they both treated each other like garbage, as you could tell from the beginning of the movie.
Keep in mind, you're talking to a guy who fell asleep in this movie.
That's what I'm saying, though. You fell asleep during it.
It was so boring. I couldn't even tell you the whole plot. Like I could
because I started editing one of our podcasts halfway through it because I got bored too. Which is like I normally don't get up during a movie to go do something else, but I was just like, it might not help that it was like a French courtroom drama, and I don't understand how the judicial system works at all.
Yeah.
I got really bored during the courtroom scenes because there's a bunch of dudes in robes.
Which says a lot, though, because you actually appreciate law. You appreciate that.
No, yeah, I understand the American court system really well, but everything was going over my head when they were in their court scenes.
Yeah, man. But I will. You know what? I'm not trying to diss the movie. I'm just saying. You
sound like our boy Tommy Wiseau. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah. Tommy Wiseau. Well, we'll get to that.
We're getting to that real soon. So tune in next week if you're into the Disaster Artist in the Room, because we'll have some good commentary on that.
There you go.
That's a good movie.
We've referred to that before.
You know what? Now that you say that, we do bring that up quite a bit.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark. Hi, doggy.
But yeah, that's gonna be fun. Talking about Tommy Wiseau alone.
There is
we could have a lot
too much to talk about with that guy. What if we can get him on the show, dude?
You know what? Something tells me it would not be as hard as we might think it is.
It might be super easy. He might be so full of himself. He'd just be like, heck yeah, podcast appearance.
Yeah. That was good.
No Mickey Mouse shit.
Yeah. Doesn't he say that?
Yeah, that's what he's like. So I'm actually about to finish the book that the movie's based on, and he says that a lot actually in the book. He's like always saying no Mickey Mouse shit.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, dude. Well, but the movie was boring, man. Anatomy of a Fall. It's just an end of story. Like, it's just boring. If you like,
it's like a weird character study.
Yeah. What's crazy though is that's so niche that I'm like, how
it was very niche. I don't understand why it did so well, because I see the quality of the movie. I do not get me wrong.
Yeah.
The way it's shot, the structure of it. It's a good, well done movie. But the story just drags, man.
Yeah.
And like story is the main thing you're trying to tell. Like, it's very artsy, I guess, in a way that normally captivates me, which is why I'm so confused by it. I love artsy movies like that, and it just was not fun.
Which I know, and that's why I appreciate your take, because you
and I tried.
You understand both sides, the writing and the actual directing. So
I tried. You were out within the first hour, I tried. I was like, Evan, come on, dude, stay up with me.
Yeah.
You couldn't do it. Yeah. And then like hour 30 in, I was like, oh, this sucks.
So you were working on the podcast while you were...
Dude, you fell asleep, and I sat next to you watching it for another like 20 minutes. I got up and I started editing the video. I was like, not happening. I have to do something during this or I'm going to fall asleep too.
That's funny. Well, You know, it's good to watch the movies that are a little boring, so you can appreciate the ones that are.
That's the thing is I usually like movies that are considered boring, like generally.
Yeah.
So I was very shocked at how put off I was by this movie.
Yeah.
Like people hate the stuff. I watch a lot of French New Wave stuff. People hate those movies nowadays.
What was the most boring movie you've ever seen in your life? Do you know?
The most absolute boring movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. Or is it too boring to recall?
Probably. I can't put a. And nothing comes up immediately.
Because that would make sense.
You know what? Nothing comes up immediately. Probably because if I start a boring movie, I end up getting so distracted I forget about the movie.
Yeah, so this one's just fresh. So we're just like
this one's fresh, so we're just railing on it.
Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, though, man. I will say that it makes for fun. It does add some spice to the conversation because if you're constantly talking about like good movies, would be boring. That would be boring itself. So it's like, hey, man,
especially all the praise we've been giving these movies we've been watching recently.
I know, we're like, yeah, this movie's sick, dude.
Pulp Fiction's awesome. Poor Things was great.
Yeah.
Django Unchained is just an awesome movie.
But let's go back to Django real quick, man. Since that is our foundation for this episode, was I forgot what you said. Was Jamie Foxx nominated for Best Actor for that one?
No,
he wasn't nominated at all.
No.
See, that's crazy because he was so good.
Fun fact.
Obviously, like he crashed.
Fun fact. He rode his own horse throughout that whole movie. Like that was his pet horse.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, that's awesome.
Weird, yeah. Like imagine being a guy who's just like, yeah, I'm gonna bring my horse to film.
I know the guy had 4 horses.
I guess he got it for like Christmas the year before. Imagine being so rich that your Christmas present is a horse.
That's pretty sick. That's pretty sick, man. Not gonna lie. Man, Jamie Foxx is another movie I want to shout out.
Ray Charles, the Ray Charles one.
Well, that movie too, man, which is awesome. Wait, real quick, I'll say something about that, and then I'm gonna go into another movie.
That's just your type of movie. That's why I brought it up.
I appreciate that. I have seen Ray. Very good.
It is very good.
I didn't know any like the details behind like was he nominated for it?
I don't know anything about the movie. I watched it a few years ago and I liked it a lot.
He plays. There's a music video called "We Are the World."
Oh yeah.
Written by Lionel Richie and Michael Jackson to raise money for Africa when pretty much a long time ago when the AIDS epidemic was going around. In Africa, a lot of people were getting sick. They wrote the movie for that, and then they did another one 25 years later for Haiti when Haiti was.
See, that's the one I'm familiar with. I didn't know that. That's what the first one was for.
Oh, okay, yeah, man. I mean, they raised millions of dollars back in the 80s for it, but
yeah, you showed me that original one, but I had only heard until you showed me that original one from the 80s. I'd only heard of the Haiti one.
Oh, the new one. Mm-hmm. Well, what's crazy is in the new one, man, he basically. He was the front of the whole thing, like he was like introducing the video, but in the video he plays and sings.
Talking about Jamie Foxx?
As Jamie Foxx plays and sings as Ray Charles.
He's so good at it.
There's a part where he's literally Ray in the
Makes
know
sense.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Where he has the glasses and he's he doesn't have a piano in front of him.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
But he was doing a tribute to homage to Ray Charles and that. But I'm like, it just says how good he is. But he's so musically talented. He does a movie with
he's good.
With Robert Downey Jr. where he plays a homeless
you were telling me about this.
cello player.
I've never seen it.
And he's a prodigy, basically. He's so good. He gets discovered on the streets by this guy. I don't know what Robert Downey Jr.'s character is, but he like puts him on. And I used to think, literally as a kid, I watched this as a kid. And he's so good at his character. I when I watched that, I said, what happened to Jamie Foxx? I thought Jamie Foxx turned the wrong way. I was like, his teeth are messed up. His hair is crazy.
I never seen this movie. I gotta check it out.
It's so good. I forgot what it's called, man. But honestly, I would love to put that on our list soon.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Very good. That's one of my favorite movies, even though I can't remember the name. I'm so bad at remembering movie names. But I could tell you all about it, man. It's a good movie, and the makeup in that should have won an award. Because he looked so realistically, like, kind of, like, messed up, bro. Like,
imagine we go back and look at this and it's just horrible. You just have, like, a skewed memory of it.
No, I watched it like 5 years ago. It was,
nice.
It was still super good.
Cool. Gotta check it out then.
Yeah. I hope I'm not hopping it up too much, man. But to me, it's a good movie.
God, we have such a list of movies, though.
That's the thing about movies, bro. I don't know. It's better. It's easier than the book world. Because the book world, you have... like hundreds of millions, and movies you have Tens of millions.
Still a lot, especially if you consider the way that independent cinema comes out nowadays too, which we need to give some more. I think we need more independent cinema. There's a lot of good stuff that's on that's indie, and
do you know
some of my favorites are indies.
Do you know of any other indie corporations or indie?
If you say corporation, that's kind of
not the one
contradictory.
You're right. You're right. That's silly me. Indie companies, whatever.
There's like I don't know if it's necessarily indie, but Neon kind of A24.
Okay. So I know that's what I say. How do you know any that stack against A24?
No, just A24.
I mean, A24 just trumps them all.
Yeah, so good.
I just don't know any other ones.
I'm so scared A24 is going to ruin themselves because they were announcing bigger budget stuff coming up. Yeah, I'm sad about that.
Yeah, they're getting.
I like their very personal things. Like Florida Project's one of my favorite movies ever.
But they've got to have someone who's on staff that's like, or more a team that's like, yeah, we can't give.
I hope so.
Because otherwise, that's not good consultation right there. You're like
even Disaster Artist was A24, dude.
Oh, I know.
We got Disaster Artist. We got Mid '90s, which is a fantastic little independent movie, kind of.
Yeah.
At this point, the line is so blurred with independent and not, because like it was an independent movie to an extent, but it's Jonah Hill's the director.
How
Mid
do
'90s.
they make money though, man?
Who, A24?
Yeah.
At this point, they're just a freaking studio. They're just putting movies in theaters, so it doesn't even matter.
But you have to profit somehow. And how are they?
No, that's what I'm saying. At this point, they're just putting the movies in theaters. They're big enough
from the theater.
Yeah, at this point, they're big enough to where they're drawing a profit on their movies.
I see what you're saying.
They're kind of an anomaly in the sense that they came up being an independent label the way they did.
So I guess that's my question then. Is how do you make money on the way up, man?
I've always wanted to look into A24's history because it much intrigues me. I have no clue how they made it. That's kind of unheard of. Think about it. You know, Fox, you know, Warner Brothers, you know, Universal, you know, all these movies, studios, right? And then like 10, 15 years ago, A24 comes out of nowhere and they start releasing movies that are way better than any of the studios.
That'd be a movie in itself about that.
That's what I'm saying. I've always had that concept of like going in and like interviewing people involved at that cool level and making a book or something potentially. I would love to. That'd actually be my dream.
I'll help you out.
See,
now we're talking.
It's just the
That's
the
crazy,
content
man.
of the glass preventing you from making the music.
Ooh, I like that you said the music. Everything is music, man.
Can be.
Everything can be music.
You see those videos on like Instagram where people like they'll sample a random like sound effect and turn it into a beautiful song.
Oh yeah,
those are cool.
Yeah,
I like that.
I mean, I don't know if I know specifically what you're talking about, but I've seen something like that before.
Somebody will take like a random like catchphrase or something from a movie and they'll splice it up so fine that it's every aspect of the melody, the harmony, the song, everything.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's super cool.
I watched a video the other day that was kind of cool. It was the behind the scenes of how cartoons sounds are made. Like
I feel like I've seen that before.
They're using the most random things. You have balloons, you have pans, like you have these.
If you're into that, we have to watch Blow Up. Blow Out. Blow Up is the one Blow Out is based on. I know, I just said a bunch of random stuff. Okay, so there's this movie Blow Up.
Yeah.
I believe it's an Italian movie or a French movie. I forget now. I haven't seen it in a long time. But then Brian De Palma made Blow Out, starring John Travolta. We've talked about this before.
That's the one where he does sound.
Yep. We have to watch it. We have to watch it because it's just like there's this. It was so like landmark for sound in movies because you get to see the behind the scenes process in the 80s when it's still a relatively new science. Like Star Wars was game changing for sound effects in 77 because think about it. New Hope comes out 77, right? What kind of sound effects do you have at that up until that point? Like Star Wars was a game changing movie for a reason. There's like laser beams and spaceships and sound effects that don't exist on Earth technically.
That's a good point.
And so they changed the game to engineer the sound for that movie. And then just 3 to 4 years later, Blowout comes out and it's showing how this guy is collecting sound effects for his B movies. And he makes like horror B movies. So it's just, to me, I think it's just a super landmark movie for sound because not only does it mess with sound a lot, you get to see how movies make sound when it's still a novel concept. So I think it's just a super important movie in terms of cinema history.
Let's watch it.
We have to. And Tarantino said that performance for Travolta is the reason he wanted him in Pulp Fiction.
That's awesome.
As we now know, and we spoke about last week, Pulp Fiction is one of the best movies ever.
And John Travolta at the time was not doing so hot, and he pulled them in.
Exactly. So that movie, in my opinion,
Check out that episode, by the way.
check out our Pulp Fiction
That last
episode.
one.
But Blowout, I think, is one of the most important movies ever.
Yeah, let's watch it.
So next week will be Disaster Artist because we just finished watching that.
We gotta talk about the room.
There's some Room tie-in into the Disaster Artist, of course. We've mentioned The Room before. If you're unfamiliar with The Room before the Disaster Artist, it's fine. But as a preface to our next episode, watch The Room, then watch the Disaster Artist,
Yeah.
and you'll have an insane appreciation for the Disaster Artist.
Yeah.
And even read the book, because the book for the Disaster Artist, it's the same title, Disaster Artist. It goes in depth into the relationship between the two main characters of the movie, and you'll see Tommy Wiseau completely different than if you just watch the movies. But anyways, there's 3 things for next week's episode if you want to prep. There's The Room, then there's the Disaster Artist book by Greg Sestero and Tom Bissell, and then there is the Disaster Artist movie directed and written by James Franco. Check those things out if you want to be prepped for next episode. And after that, we're aiming to watch Blowout, directed by Brian De Palma, starring John Travolta.
All right, we locked it in.
And we're out for tonight. Peace out, everybody.
peace out. Hey,
have a
remember,
good
Always
beer.
happy.
Happy. And I was going to say, have a good Easter. Happy Easter,
Oh,
everybody.
happy Easter, everybody. Later.
That might be a premature one.
No, it's good. Good addition.
All right.
Later.
Peace.